365. And this peace of mind can be yours for about $5 a month. Offers, terms, conditions, and policies are subject to change without notice. Visit AAA.com/member for details.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Bachelor Happy Hour. We are back with more of his story, and today we have Bob and CK on. It's CK's birthday. I know he's in France, and we're going to talk to both of these guys, so let's get into it. Bob, welcome to Bachelor Happy Hour. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thanks so much. Thanks for having me.
Of course.
Thanks for coming on. So where are you located right now? We see you're on a beautiful rooftop. It's sunny. It's warm.
I'm on my rooftop a block from the beach down here in Marina Del Rey.
Oh, wow. I'm very jealous. It's cold in New York today. I have not been outside.
And what do you do for a living? Are you retired? You're a chiropractor, correct?
I'm semi-retired as a chiropractor. I'm kind of, trying to work my way into the sunset there.
Okay.
What do you think about, are you familiar with all like the chiropractor videos on Instagram and TikTok? What are your thoughts on those?
I find them fascinating. A lot of the techniques and what they are claiming and what they're doing is sometimes, in my conservative opinion, a little bit interesting, a little esoteric. The thing that blows me away are the guys that really do nothing but do manipulation on absolutely drop-dead gorgeous women in little yoga outfits. And then a friend of mine monetized how much they make per view of these people just watching them adjust them. And I'm going, that's a whole other practice.
Yeah, truly.
Yeah, truly. I'm a chiropractor fan because I grew up dancing, so and now we travel a lot, so we're doing a lot of sitting on planes. Joe's never been to the chiropractor, and I think he would benefit from it. I don't go often. I'm like a twice a year if I really need an adjustment. But he is hesitant. He's nervous about it. But he loves watching the videos of people getting their backs cracked.
I could crack my. Well, I also crack my own back, but I try to stretch a lot, but I could crack my back through my chest, so I could push my chest.
It's
right
like
here,
your sternum, though. It's not
my
your
chest
back.
and my back, my middle of my back cracks. It actually feels great when I do it.
But that doesn't make you a chiropractor.
Is that okay, though?
I hope not. I spent a lot of years wasting my time if that was the case.
What do you think about people cracking their own backs?
It's one of those things where if you're not doing it too much, it's fine.
Yeah.
If you're overdoing it, you can create some problems for yourself. But if you're just kind of move, twist, click, oh, hell, that feels better. Go for it.
Okay. And what about like where I crack my back the most is I'll roll on one of the rollers at the gym, and I just basically cracks my back, and then I just keep going. Fine.
Yeah. And unless you're starting to develop any pain with that, or you got any other kind of underlying stuff that I don't know about, hell yeah, that's fine.
Okay. All right.
Wow.
That's good. That's good to know.
Chiropractic advice with Dr. Bob.
Yeah.
It's our new segment.
Yeah. Okay, so let's get into the show a little bit. How did you wind up on The Golden Bachelorette?
They found me online. Found me online, and when they did, I turned to my kid Meg and I said, "What do you think?" And they said, "Oh, Dad, you got to do this."
Yeah.
I said, well, you turned down being on America's Next Top Model. Why should I do this? She goes, because it's 12 years later and I still regret doing that.
Why did she turn it down?
She was a freshman in college. She wasn't so sure. She was definitely not the model type. She knew that if she was going into the show, that her character was going to be more of the project. When you break down the show into, what kind of character types you're going to be. And she just analyzed who she was, and she was like, I just don't know if I want to do that.
Yeah, that's fair. I used to watch that show, and there's some good parts and there's some not so good parts.
And the other part is that she would have to take a semester off from college to do it.
Right.
And I explained to her that, that's fine. That's true, but your mom and I have already paid for that semester. So you're going to have to come up with the money for the next one. Mm-hmm. And she's like, well, okay, but how much is a semester? $25,000.
Jeez.
No, Dad, a semester. I went, no, just a semester is $25,000. She's like, screw that.
Yeah.
School is so much more expensive here than it is in Canada. That's
Oh my
crazy.
gosh.
Yeah.
It is priced very differently. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. And you got some great schools up there, McGill and all.
Oh yeah, we have some really good schools. So if we have a kid, they're going to school in Canada. So did you have any regrets going on The Golden Bachelorette?
None. At first, when I left the show, I felt a little disappointed. I wanted to have been there longer. But as a friend of mine put it to me, he goes, Bob, you made it to the NBA. Okay, so you sat on the bench. But still, dude, you were in the NBA. That's great. And then I got that whole second life out of the Marina Del Rey lesbians.
Yeah, let's talk about that. So I am scrolling on TikTok. This is maybe like 2 weeks after you've left the show. And I'm like, oh, there's Bob. And I see Bob's house for wayward lesbians. And I was like, what the heck is going on here? And it's just you and what, like 20 lesbians?
Oh yeah, Meg is queer, and so it's like when we have Thanksgiving, it's like you invite all your friends, and it's just grown from 10 to 15 to 20 to 27. This year we had seating and stuff for 30, and it ended up standing room only.
At your house?
It's at my place, yeah.
Wow.
We pack them in.
So it's you and your daughter Meg and all of her friends?
Yeah.
Wow,
Occasionally
that
I
is
get
so
to work
fun.
in a date here and there, but
And what are
it's a special lady to say, how would you like to come have Thanksgiving with me and 27 lesbians?
That sounds like a great party. That sounds like a lot of fun.
And it also tells you that that's a special lady that can do that.
That is true.
Were they all talking about watching you on The Golden Bachelorette?
Yeah, you must have been the
That's
star of
part of it.
Thanksgiving.
Yeah, it's part of it. It's just, it's kind of, it's a topic. It's fun. They have fun with it. They make fun of me for it. But most of them are like, way to go. Way to give us props. Thanks a lot.
So going back to your time in the mansion, you mentioned you wish you could have lasted longer. Why do you think you went home?
To be honest, it was just, I walked in there and I realized that as outgoing and as gregarious and as animated as I was, there was something about doing it in front of, constantly being in front of cameras and being, mic'd and everything else. And I just seemed a little out of my element there.
Yeah.
And with that, I kind of looked at it and I went, well, what's the best thing that you can do here? And I decided, well, if I don't know what I'm doing, the least I can do is be there for the other guys. Make them feel comfortable, make Joan feel acknowledged and welcomed and feel fabulous about why she's there, because I can only imagine what she's going through, and just try to be my best person for everybody else.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you have like just having you on this podcast, even in the first 5 minutes, you have a great personality. So I'm actually very surprised that you went.
Yeah,
home.
me too.
Because I thought maybe guys or women that go on the show and are introverts have a tougher time. So I was maybe thinking that was your case, but it doesn't really seem that way.
Yeah, a lot of my friends were like, we saw this guy on the show, but I don't think it was really you.
Yeah. It can be a very overwhelming environment,
especially with all
though.
and your first time in front of the cameras, and that could totally shut you down.
Yeah, but wouldn't trade it in for anything.
What did your friends and family say about watching you?
It was all so positive. It was all a lot of fun, very positive. I grew up on the East Coast. People on the East Coast think that anything that happens on TV is total magic, and they were just stoked to see some kid from their high school of 1,500 kids be on a TV show. And they're kind of like,
it's exciting.
Yeah, it was very exciting for them and for me.
Do you think now, knowing how it works and experiencing it once, if you were to go back on, do you think you would be able to get out of your shell and be more comfortable?
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah. I can see that.
I would very much. It would be a very different experience. I mean, the production crew does all that they can to make you feel as comfortable as you can. But until you get used to those cameras, until you get used to interacting with people in a way that you're not used to interacting on a day-to-day basis,
it takes some time. It takes time and experiencing it once.
Yeah.
This podcast is brought to you by Kim Tropical Fruit and Crushed
In Abercrombie's new going into the holiday season, Joe and I
Pink Box. In 2017, two cousins embarked on a flavorful journey to create the best chocolate chip cookie. But that was just the beginning, adding an extra layer of excitement to your visit. And with the
dating, I've been on a couple of dates, but
and experienced dessert like never before.
So how has it been dating since being on the show?
Have you been dating?
Dating, I've been on a couple of dates, but I do have one lady that we've got something I think pretty special going on.
Okay. That's exciting.
And, we're playing the long distance relationship, and we're just we're kind of seeing how that works out. Never done anything like that before. So
how did you meet?
We met when she was visiting Santa Monica, and we met online. And
did she know that you were on the Golden? Is that how this came about? Through DMs?
That's one of my big things. It's like, if you're going to do anything, don't lead with that. But we just been having a great time, and now we're kind of like zipping back and forth between states. And
did she make it to Thanksgiving?
Time the visits get a little bit longer. So,
did she make it to Thanksgiving with Meg and all her friends?
No, unfortunately, they had stuff with her family, but I'm on my way to visit her in a couple of weeks, and then she's going to be out here for Christmas.
Oh wow,
so
that's great.
This is a serious relationship.
We got stuff planned.
Would you call her your girlfriend yet, or not there?
Love to call her my girlfriend, but we're both being very cautious.
Okay. But the time may come.
Yes.
That's great. We're so happy for you.
Well, thank you. I'm pretty excited too. You go into this show, and I would kind of like to dating. I felt like here I'm 66, I'm retired, and I feel like this guy that is out there, and I've got a ton of money, but it's in a currency of a country that no longer exists. And it's expired, and I don't know how to spend it. And the show comes is like, no, get out there. No, there is a land for that, and that kind of got me back in the saddle, and
that's great. I think that
when we talked to a lot of the Golden Women when they came off the show, they said something similar, like it just kind of reignited their spark and confidence surrounding dating, and a lot of them were able to find partners that way.
Yep, I'm happy for them too. Yeah. I've met a few of them, and it's a cool group of ladies.
Mm-hmm.
So we're for New Year's we're going to Costa Rica, and we're going to Tamarindo. I've never surfed before in my life. Now I heard you're a surfer. Is that correct?
Yes. Tamarindo is a real easy, gentle break. The only thing you don't want to do is surf anywhere near the mouth of the river that feeds that little bay there, because there are crocodiles in that river, and they will
eat you.
They don't just stay there in the river.
Okay, good to know. That's a good tip.
And it's great zip lining, great out. Oh, it's great. It's a fabulous.
So for a first time, I've never been on a surfboard. For a first time surfer, what tips would you give me?
Oh,
like, do you think I'll even be able to get up?
No, I mean, I would say the first couple times is, number one, learn where to put your body weight on the board, so that, because what happens is you start to go off on this wave, and the nose starts to angle down, and then it digs into the water, and then it flips like that. So just right on your belly, like it's a great big boogie board, and figure out where your weight needs to be to keep that nose from purling in. And then from there, pop up to your knees.
Okay.
And then from there, maybe pop up on your feet. But most of all, just take your time.
I like that. I'm
How
so excited.
often-
I've never surfed either, but I've always wanted to.
How often do you surf these days?
Part of my backstory is that I got struck by lightning.
Is that the story that you told to Joe night one that was like a near-death experience?
Yeah.
All right, let's hear
Yeah,
that
can you
story.
retell that?
So I was teaching my kid how to surf one day, and this was like middle of the summer, and I'm pushing them off on a wave, and I didn't even pay attention, but this one big black cloud formed over the beach, and the first bolt of lightning that it threw down took me out.
Oh
Hit
my
the
God.
water. I'm pushing her off on this wave, and I'm going, oh my God, she's going to stand up. And then next thing I know, I open my eyes. I'm in an ICU in full restraints and a breathing tube.
Oh my gosh, how old was she?
She was 15 at the time.
That's really scary.
Who got you out of the water?
And one of the things that saved them was that they were on top of the board and not in the water. And I was I was not so much struck by lightning as I was the guy that was in the bathtub and somebody threw in a 1,000,000-watt hairdryer.
Okay.
So
the fact it was Meg?
Yeah.
So the fact that Meg was on the board and not in the water saved her from being electrocuted, essentially.
Yeah. Yes.
Wow.
And so they came up, they saw me floating, they grabbed me, they dragged me in. The guards grabbed me, they cut open my wetsuit and did CPR on me for about 12 minutes before they finally got a pulse.
Oh my gosh.
It's on YouTube.
Wow. It's on YouTube?
Yeah, some guy shot it. I frankly, personally, I was like still in the ICU, and I'm like, no, dude, you got to show it to me now. I want to see it now.
How do we search for this video?
I don't know if I want to see this video.
I think you'd probably go Venice lightning victim death. You CPR. What? Yeah, throw in those things under your search engine in YouTube, and maybe it'll come up. I haven't looked at it in about a year or two.
What was the recovery like after something like that?
Well, what happens is so the electricity stops your heart. It makes your heart just go. Actually, it makes every body muscle in your body go. Fries nerves, fries everything. It took me about 3 days before I could get up and kind of walk. About 2 weeks before I could actually, about a week and a half before I could walk myself. But the biggest thing that was residual from it all was, so I was wearing a wetsuit.
Mm-hmm.
And the only part of my body that was in the water that was sticking out of the wetsuit was my feet and ankles. And my feet are still numb, partially numb. So
Today?
Yeah, to this day, they're never coming back.
Wow.
And you know what? If you're going to walk away from something like this with some sort of, personally, I think it's important to have some sort of a reminder of an event like this. So you can have a nice subtle one like that. You got lucky.
Does it impact you on a day-to-day at all?
Yeah, because I don't have the same sense of balance that I used to. So that circles back to, do I surf much anymore? No, my balance sucks. I don't skateboard. I don't surf that much. I'll boogie board, I'll body surf, but getting up on a surfboard, it's just not as much fun.
How many years ago was this?
10.
10 years. Wow.
That's an insane
intense
story. Wow.
Were you pronounced dead?
Well, I was flatline. I was what they call asystole. So my heart wasn't even beating. It was just checked out. And so that's why they had to do the CPR for as long as they did. Yeah.
Any heart complications after something like that? Or
yeah, I did have I have an occasional history, occasional episode of AFib.
Okay.
from that. And that usually happens if I, burning the candle at both ends or doing something, excessively stressful. But I still swim 1.5 miles every day and, work out a lot. So
Nice.
That is a wild story.
Yeah.
I can't imagine being Meg on the surfboard and looking back and my dad's being electrocuted in the water by lightning.
yeah. But they handled it well. I mean, they knew exactly what to do.
That's good.
Thank God. Thank God, because if they didn't, you would probably be dead.
Yeah, they would.
Truly.
Nobody would have found me for a while. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, it was cool.
That's very intense, and honestly, that's a reminder to never be in the water alone. Like,
No, never in the water alone, and never when there's lightning.
Yeah. I still will cast an eye to the sky just to make sure.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
What were your thoughts going back to the show? What were your thoughts on the finale?
I thought it was wonderful. I mean, the two guys that I really felt that were that were all in for Joan were Guy and Chalk.
Yeah. Did you feel that way? Did you feel that way? Were you able to see that week 2, or was it still too early when you were in the house?
No, by the time I was gone, I mean, by the second or third day, I was like, wow, these guys are at a whole nother
really?
here that I wish I could be at, but I'm not. But, bravo for them for knowing it, seeing it, and going for it.
Yeah.
And it was fun to watch them get to the end. And it was, it was tough it was like, we were watching the finale and my daughter's like, Daddy, you're crying. I'm like, yeah, but he's a really nice guy. And he's really, he was my friend. And, but I think she made a great choice. And I think she's going to, the two of them just seem to be really like they're having a great time.
Yeah, I agree. Do you keep in contact with any of the guys from the house?
Oh, heck yeah. Oh yeah. We've got threads that we've got, some, Instagram or whatever messaging threads where just, all of a sudden somebody will erupt with some joke about something or a story about something, or I'm going here, or I'm there. Today is CK's birthday.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. So everybody was up early at East Coast 6 a.m, LA 3 a.m, going, happy birthday, Charles.
Oh, that's so nice.
Yeah. And any chance we get together, like the girl, I said girlfriend, we're going out to Joshua Tree over New Year's, and I hope to get to run into Gary out there because I think he lives out that way.
Oh, really?
Or any chance?
Fun.
Yeah, and if I go visit Chicago, then I'm checking in with Jordan and Pascal.
Yeah, a lot of Chicago. I'm from Chicago, so there's a lot of Chicago connection on this show on this season. Yeah,
it's a really cool city.
I mean, I'd rather be on your rooftop right now than we're in New York, but I'd rather be on that rooftop than.
Yeah, I'm excited to go to Chicago for the holidays, but it'll be nice to jump off to Costa Rica for some warmer weather. What are your plans for the holidays other than, I know, Joshua Tree for New Year's?
Joshua Tree, we may take a little trip up to Santa Barbara, just try and hit some restaurants, do some stuff together, just kind of put together some time.
Mm-hmm.
Just put together like, okay, how does this relationship work over a little protracted period of time?
Yeah.
When we wake up and we got a routine and we're like, when exactly how they want their coffee, you don't have to ask again, and just where they're going to put this and what they're going to read next and what they like to watch in the morning when they're on, and you can delve into those fun little niceties of companionship.
Nice. I like that. Well, I really I love Santa Barbara. Actually, it's great. It's so beautiful up there. But Bob, thank you so much for taking time out of your day and coming to talk to us. We really appreciate it. I'm glad you're alive. That story was insane, and I'm going to YouTube it and watch it. And yeah, thank you again for coming on Bachelor Happy Hour.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you so much again for having me. You guys are wonderful.
Of course.
Thank you for coming. It was so nice to meet you.
Bye-bye.
Bye. CK, hello. Welcome to Bachelor Happy Hour.
Thank you all. Thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure as well as an honor. Thank you.
Happy birthday.
Happy
Thank you,
birthday.
sir.
Thank you for
very
taking
much.
time out of your birthday to be with us today. And we have a quick surprise for you to kick this episode off.
Uh-oh.
Happy birthday, you golden, handsome.
Hey, Dr. Bob! Oh, all right, man. Look at that.
Yeah, if you're going to celebrate your birthday, you're doing it the right way. Good job.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it. Dr. Bob, I need you to work on my back. Oh, my God.
Dr. Bob, were you doing adjustments in the house?
Oh, I was. Yes, I was. Yes,
Yeah.
I was.
Wow.
That was one. Yeah, we thought when I left, everybody's back was going to go to hell, and Jack left at the same time, and all going to starve. But somehow you made it through, and you still look fabulous.
Yeah, same to you, Dr. Bob. It's I love that sunshine behind you. So you're in your element.
I am. I
Yeah.
am. All right.
Absolutely.
Well, happy birthday, my friend, and especially from everybody else that was up at all hours of the morning texting you.
You know? Oh my God.
We heard the group chat was going crazy for your birthday.
It's just I tried to turn my phone off, and I just heard this ding, ding, ding. I'm like, stop it, guys, stop it.
You're going to be popular. No, sorry.
I know.
Great reference. Great reference, Dr. Bob.
All right. So CK, you're in France right now?
I am in France celebrating my birthday. I wanted to go. My boss, who is from France, he recommended that I visit the Mont Saint-Michel, which is just outside of France in Normandy. So we just got here. It's an amazing experience so far. So I'm looking forward to the rest of the trip.
So is it like wine country up there?
No, it's an island that's kind of out in the distant, and it's really sort of had this Gothic look. It sits by itself, and it's this historic landmark. And monks used to live there at the top where they have this church, and so it's just an amazing scenic view. I felt special just to see it at the distance. So I'm looking forward to actually visiting the island tomorrow.
Wow, that's exciting.
incredible.
Who are you there with?
A friend,
Nice. A lady friend?
a local friend.
A local friend. Okay.
What was I going to ask? About how long are you there for?
I'm going to be here to the end of the week on Friday. And people ask me that. I get so confused. Like, is it your birthday today or tomorrow? I'm like, well, what day is it? What time is it?
Yeah.
What country are you in? So,
Are you shooting over to like Paris or anything, or no? Just
yeah,
that
we
area.
started in Paris, and it's a 2-hour drive. So we started in Paris, then we kind of got the
Got it.
car, made our way over, and then we're going to visit the island tomorrow, and then we're going to make our way back to Paris, and then back to Columbia, Maryland on the end of the week.
okay.
Oh, wow. Have you been to Paris before?
No, it's my first time. So it's a very romantic city. My boss teaches me how to order wine in French to impress the ladies, and I always screw it up. So
Effort. A for effort.
Like writing
It's-
on my hand.
A for effort.
What do you
That's right.
what do you do for
Yeah.
a living?
I work for a cybersecurity company based in Columbia, Maryland. I took that job over 5 years ago when my youngest son went away to college, and I wanted to change my life and do some things for me. And he wanted me to do some things for me as well. And one of the best moves I've ever made in my entire life. I mean, I love living in Los Angeles, but I also love living in the East Coast in Columbia, Maryland as well.
This podcast is brought to you by Kim Tropical Fruit and Crushed Herbs.
These new party looks I've been loving. Joe and I have a bunch of different kinds.
2017, two cousins embarked on a flavorful journey to create pit bakers whip up delectable treats
So we heard from our producer that
celebration. Visit your nearest Crumble today. Explore the delicious options on the Crumble app and experience dessert like never before.
So we heard from our producer that when you got on The Golden Bachelorette, your company did something fun for you. Can you tell us about it?
Yeah, they did a bunch of fun things for me. And I got to tell you, that's one of the biggest wins in me actually going on this journey was the validation and respect that I've earned from my colleagues. We had National CK Day for Tenable on September 18th, I think it is, which was the first day. And all of my colleagues joined, and we had a channel, and the channel was just going crazy. And so I felt really, really special. I got to say that my boss talked me into doing this, and I didn't want to do it. I did it. I didn't want to do it. He talked me back, and just a fabulous experience and support from my company and my colleagues.
That's amazing. It's good for company culture, something that brings everyone together.
It was it was. I got so many people from the executive ranks saying, Charles, what you did. Actually, they said, CK, what you did really sort of galvanized the company. And I couldn't even walk the halls in the company without just people I never knew. Hey, CK, you're a great job at the one-handed push-up, man. I tried doing one of those. I could never do it. So it was just great morale for the entire company from top to bottom. So very, very glad I did it.
That's fantastic.
You look great. You're doing one-handed push-ups. What's your secret?
Joan said something, to be quite honest, I think at one of the last episodes, she said, I'm not looking forward to retirement, but I'm looking forward to adventure and the next thing in my life. And while I was already there, when she said that, it really resonated to kind of how I live my life. I work out every day, whether weights or walking or running. I try to eat healthy. I take my medications, and I live a good life and a clean life, and I treat people well. So I think there's somewhere in there's some reciprocation. So, and I tease Jonathan. He and I talk all the time. I go, Jonathan, you know what, man? I think we're about the same age, brother, but I'm going back in time with you. So whatever he's doing, I'm doing with him.
There we go. I love that. You have 5 kids. How old's your oldest,
Yes.
and how young is the youngest?
5 kids. Wow.
5 kids. Yeah, I always wanted a big family. Just great times growing up. The family trips were amazing. The oldest is 36, and the youngest is 22. Yeah, he's a junior in college, University of Hawaii. So they're all gone, and I poured into them. And now with this journey in my life forward is about pouring into Charles and, just picking up and just going up to France. I mean, right. So
why not?
It allows me. Yeah. So, but I 5 kids, it keeps me active. They have an active life. They all live in different areas throughout the United States, but they're all doing very, very well. And if I had to do it all over again, I would have 5 more. Or
really
additional. Yeah. Love big families are amazing. So it's a little hard, growing up. And, when you're growing up, during the episode, Mark and I was talking about when we were younger, we wanted sports cars, and we'd go to the dealership and, Wiseman, are you crazy? You got 5 kids, man. We go to the minivan. So, and we all, it's funny, we all got sports cars now. So
yeah, there you go.
Yeah. Couldn't
What
do it
did your
back then.
kids think about all of this?
My boy's like, yeah, go do it, Dad. Yeah, go do it. You're the man. And my daughter's like, I don't know. And then the daughters warmed up to it a little bit, because they thought it was a good journey and maybe a good process, and it would be good for me as well.
After they watched you on the show, were they all happy with it?
Oh, yeah. Listen, I have to give a shout out to all of the producers. They did a really, really good job, in my opinion, of keeping all the men in a good light. One of the things that was important for me was to always go back to Tenable, where I work, and maintain respect for my colleagues. And I think they did it for all of the gentlemen. So it was just a big, big win all the way around.
So cutting to the show, what was the experience like of walking out of the limo and seeing Joan and just being in that moment?
Oh, sure. Absolutely. Stepping out of the limo, of course, it's a very tense moment, and your nerves and thoughts are just all over the place. And Joan was beautiful, and she's standing there and under the lights, and she beautiful gown that she's wearing. and you just kind of lose your thoughts in the moment because it's such a big moment. And no matter how confident you are, you lose your stuff in that moment.
Yeah.
And yeah, so the objective is stay composed, keep it short, and just be natural, right? And then for me, I'm going to do a one-handed push-up, and then I look down and the ground's wet. And my first thought is, CK, don't slip. Let your hand slip and literally fall on your face. So when I did that, I was okay after that. So
nice. Did you? What did you think when you walked in the house and realized you're about to live with 25 other guys?
In bunk beds.
Yeah, I know. And then the guys kept coming. And then at the end, kind of get together. And my first thought was, there's a song a few years ago, when I looked at all the guys, there's a song that says, y'all gonna make me lose my mind. Up in here.
Up in here.
Yeah, I was totally thinking that. But all of the guys were, my colleagues, and we were all of the same mindset and thought process and conversation, and just talking to all the guys from different parts of the country. So, immediately after that, I thought this is going to be, a great experience. And if nothing else, I've gained 24 or 23 other really, really good friends. And that has not disappointed.
Was going on the Golden Bachelorette what you expected it to be, or was it totally different?
A little bit of both. Right. A little bit of both. And, I tell people all the time, there's one woman, there's 24 men, and there's a good chance you're not going to get picked every single round. And so you kind of really have to level set your thought process and then really rethink, what is a win to you, Charles? What does a win look like? And then kind of position yourself in that way. And I think one of the big wins for me was Charles Ling and we had a debate about who's the real Charles. I had a lot of fun with that. And then after that discussion, I walked away being known as CK. And then that was a big win for me, because anywhere and everywhere I go now, people like CK, and I get it. So super, super deal.
One of the things that caught the audience's eye was your eye for fashion. Have you always been a guy? Have you always been a fashionable guy?
I have 5 kids. It's never fashionable. I mean, you can't, 5 kids, I'm wearing sandals most of the time, but
yeah.
But in my adult life, particularly the last 5 years, I've had an image consultant, and she's just an amazing, amazing person that keeps my image on point, regardless of budget, whether it's $100 or $1,000, doesn't matter. She's done a really, really good job at that. And image is important in terms of how you present yourself, because it's a conduit to get in the room, right? So from that standpoint, yeah, I mean, it's kind of important, and I kind of enjoy it. CK, the name CK kind of carries a little weight now. So I'm very happy and excited. So yeah.
There you go.
Well, you have great taste.
And you're close to Paris, so you could do some shopping.
Yeah.
I know. The men here dress so amazing. I'm like, oh my God, I need new stuff.
Yeah.
That's what happens when we go on vacation too.
Yeah, I do like to shop on vacation. I do.
You do.
So you ended up going home week 3 on the show. How was your connection with Joan? What was your relationship like with her? Did you get enough time?
Yeah. I didn't get a lot of time. I'm not sure if the right thing to say is if I got enough time, but I got time with her, enough to know her. I think that for me, I get to know her, but she doesn't get to know me from the standpoint there's one of her and there's many men. So you get time to kind of vet who she is. I do know that she's from Maryland, and I think we had that connection. I think that's a very, very strong connection. She went to the University of Maryland. My son went there. And so it was that connection as well. And then one of my son's friends actually stayed at her place for a while. So that was another. Yeah. I think more importantly, we walked away, or at least to the extent I did, with good, being good with it, being friends, having that connection with Joan, or now with Chalk, or with Guy, whoever the guy was. I think it's going to be really, really super, super good. When I'm in Maryland, I'm there all the time because I have a place. It wouldn't be beyond the scope to call Chalk and go, hey, you know what? Let's go out for steak dinner. You're paying for it. So, yeah.
What is dating life for you been like after the show? Are you actively dating?
Yes. I was actually actively dating before the show, but obviously after the show with the name CK. I'll tell you a quick story. I was in Maryland at Federal Hill, and I on my way to work, and I stopped at Starbucks Coffee to get coffee. And it's crowded. There's a bunch of people there, and it's been, eclectic, vibrant area of Baltimore. And I ordered my cafe latte, and the lady screams out, "Cafe latte for CK." I'm like, shh. And then there are some ladies that come over. "Are you CK from the Golden Bachelor?" I'm like, no, that's not me. It looks like me, but that's not me. And the lady pulls up a picture, goes, "Yeah, it's you." And she puts her camera, and it's me. And I'm taking pictures with like 10 different women. It was absolutely amazing. And that has gone on like time after time after time again, whether you're in the supermarket or you're out and about in Los Angeles, or I'm at my son's football game. It's just been an amazing experience. And I walk away from that thing. My first thought is, boy, I'm kind of glad I did this. But it happens more often than not.
Do you think that that now makes it easier to potentially date, or just, it's easier to have a conversation with a woman because some of them know who you are now?
Yeah, that's a very good question. I was just telling my friend that having more options is not a good thing, because sometimes you invariably make the wrong decision when you have so more options. It's so much better when you don't. And having to pick from 3 is harder than having to pick from 100, because you can invariably make the wrong decision. But I'm 62. I'm principled and centered. I know what I'm looking for, and I know when I see it. So it typically doesn't bother me. But having a lot of options is problematic.
Yeah. Are there any of the Golden Bachelor women that catch your eye?
I haven't had. I spoke with Sandra. Sandra and I was just in Atlanta 2 weeks ago, and I called Sandra, and we're going to go hang out and have dinner and just kind of catch up. But unfortunately, she fell ill, and we kind of had to reschedule. But it's just so hard. And I know I'm in Los Angeles, and I think one of the young ladies there in Los Angeles, we were supposed to catch up as well. But life is just so difficult. And like I said earlier, I'm on the go all the time. And I move around quite a bit, but it's very, very difficult. But yeah, they're beautiful, 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 elegant women. I mean, the exact thing that we're looking for, right? As a mature man, which is a mature, elegant, charming woman, is top tier in money. And all of them are.
When looking for a partner, what is the ideal situation for your lifestyle?
Someone who loves adventure, someone who loves good and nice things, and not so much expensive things, but nice things, elegant things, charming things. Someone who is spontaneous, who doesn't want to just reside in one city or one place all the time. Now, that being said, I do get tired, and I do stay home from time to time. In fact, I spend more time at home when I'm in Los Angeles, and then when I'm outside of Los Angeles, I'm this rambunctious, kind of guy. But that's the type of woman I think that would probably be more ideal for CK.
That makes sense. Yep.
Joe and I are going to Costa Rica over the holidays, and we were talking to Bob about it earlier. I know that I know it's not the exact same, but close by is Nicaragua, right?
Yeah.
We know that you spent some time there. Can you tell us about that?
Oh, my God. Costa Rica is a beautiful city. I've been there as well. Mm-hmm. What I didn't know was how much of a third world country certain parts of Nicaragua was. Mm-hmm. And we built several homes in one day. I mean, it's just not hard to build. And the people were so appreciative. It's just, I get, as at this age, I get to do everything that my heart's desire, just in terms of work and giving back to the community, and then giving and making a difference in the world, and impacting people's lives, and building those homes and donating money was, I almost teared up. And I almost never cried, but I almost teared up because it meant so much to the people there. And I never made it to the sort of the metropolitan area of Nicaragua. I stayed in the rural areas where it's really third world, and the people really need help. And so that was a big, big, big thing for me.
Did you have any experience building homes, or was there like somebody overseeing the operation that kind of like, okay, just move this piece of wood here into this?
Yeah, I shadowed a guy, of course. I put on all the stuff that looked like I know what I was doing. I mean, gloves and the hat. And I'm like, oh yeah. But I shadowed a guy, and I was just amazed at how quickly you can build homes there, because you don't really have to dig a foundation. You just put pieces together. And but I love to try. I love to do it again one day, whenever I can find the time.
How long were you there for?
I was there for 2 weeks.
Okay.
Nice.
Wow, that's great.
Good for you. Making a difference in the world. I love that. What are your thoughts on the happy couple, Joan and Chalk? Make sense to you? Happy for them?
Yeah. No, listen, we talked about my experience on the show, and Chalk was Joan's first one-on-one to Disneyland. Mm-hmm. And when I remember sitting on the couch and all the guys were congratulating Chalk, and I told Chalk, I can see what she sees in him. And so I wasn't surprised. I mean, if she had chose Guy, of course I could, but I could see what she sees in him. And I'm very happy for them. I think they work together. I think they're both in a good place. So I'm very, very happy for the both of them. And that's when she chose Chalk for the first group date, that's when, in my mind, I have to think, okay, CK, now what does a win look like here, right? Because it's not about, oh, CK, you got voted off, you got booted off, or you lost. I like to look at it the other way, like, how did I win? Like, what did I do to walk away with the win? And I feel real good about that. So very excited. I remember the last day episode, I was in my car in Los Angeles, and Chalk called, and I looked at my phone and said, Chalk, I'm in traffic. I screamed, oh my God, congratulations. And then he says, hang on, CK, someone wants to talk to you. And Joan says, and it was just an amazing experience. And so very, very happy for the both of them. I think they're going to do well and live well together.
Yeah, they seem to be very compatible, having met them.
Yeah. Lastly, before we let you go and enjoy your birthday, if there was a golden Bachelor in Paradise, would you do it?
You know, to be honest with you, I didn't know what that was. I heard people talking about it, and I asked one, hey, what does this entail? Like, what is that? How does this differ? What is this? Yeah. They told me, my first thought was, if there was a golden paradise, would I do it? I don't know. You know what? I'm going to give you the right answer. I might be in a relationship by the time that even thinks about happening. But if I wasn't, sure. I mean, those are beautiful, beautiful women. All of them are gorgeous women. How can you lose? So, of course.
I think that was the correct answer.
Yes.
CK, thank you so much for taking time out of your day. We hope you enjoy the rest of your birthday, and it was really nice chatting with you.
Well, thank you all for having me. I do appreciate the time, and great experience.
Well, enjoy the rest of your trip, and hopefully we'll see you again soon.
And to all our listeners, thank you guys so much for tuning in to Bachelor Happy Hour. We really appreciate it, and make sure you download and subscribe.
We have more His Story interviews coming your way, some holiday episodes, so be sure to keep listening. Bye.